we good? We live?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to disappear. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Codex Legendarium. As you can see, we have one cast member returning for today and one vanishing. Justin is feeling under the weather, so he is going to be running the stream for us, but not on stream. And we will be following the adventures today of Tedros, Yule, and Viktoria returns. We'll have to see what that's about. So yeah. I would ask Justin for any channel announcements, but he's not speaking currently. Not like he's not speaking to me. He's just like literally speaking is difficult for him at the moment. So come see us on Wednesdays and Thursdays because those are our other two games. Actually, I think Thursday going into it. I just realized that Thursday might be going to a hiatus or something. Sorry.
Thursday just ended.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh, spoilers. And then trying to figure out what's going on next.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right. That's why Justin's not talking. So come by and see us on Wednesdays, and you'll see. And Thursday we'll be returning. In the meantime, you can catch up on the entire Thursday campaign that just happened and ended on our YouTube. So go ahead and check that out. Come see us on Wednesdays, where I play the lovable, naive Ricky. Yeah. So. Normally this is the part where I would do a recap of the previous episode. However, Rose hasn't been here for a while and has very little idea as to what's been going on. And Viktoria is going to be returning and also has very little idea of what's been going on. So rather than me doing a recap, I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to start into the session where we left off last week. Viktoria will return, and if you need a recap, you can get caught up with Viktoria, because Tedros and Yulyanya will probably have some things to fill her in on, like why Montblanc isn't here, or Princess. So,
cool. Love that.
We are starting, then, on the night after the party, I think, yes. The night after the party. The next day you had a full day of stuff that you did and prepare, or a full night you did of stuff you prepared and did, and then things happened. You came back to the estate, so you just came back and received a letter from Princess. By the way, it is yes, the end of the 1st of September, because all of my months are just weird spellings of the regular months, because I didn't want to have to deal with that. I just imported a real calendar into my fantasy calendar. Makes it so much easier, because it also has like the phases of the moon and stuff, because for some people that's important. Anyway, so yeah, that just kind of all happened. So just kind of at the end of this day, after this very charged and eventful couple of days that Yule and Tedros have had, before we bring Viktoria back into it, what are just kind of like, what are Yule and Tedros like doing, feeling, just where are they at the moment? What's going on there?
I think most of what Tedros is doing is trying to start working on some new projects. Some things that might, just some new stuff. He's got some ideas that he's thinking through. But when he's not doing that, he does go and check to see how Yule is doing, because a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, what is Yule? Let's pan over to Yule, where she is in the house, and what is Yule getting up to on this evening?
This is right after everything.
Yeah, this is like when you all just left Monty and have come back to Lady Stanway's house and are just kind of like, well, now what?
What time is it?
It's like early to mid evening. Like it's dark out, but like only just.
Okay. Well, a lot happened.
It did.
a lot.
Yes.
So Yule is probably like her head is just sort of swarming with like everything that's just been going on, and she can't she can't focus on anything because it's just like this cloud of like thoughts. She's excited that they were, their plan worked, and hopefully everything will be okay with Monty, but on the other side, now they've got this whole trial, and also it's just sticking with her, that moment when she rode away from the island and saw everyone setting or tearing down the circus tents. It's just she keeps having like the flashes in her minds of the people, and like she keeps flashing back to like pretty much all of the interactions with all of the different people from the circus, and of course the patron. So her brain is very foggy, and she's just sort of like wandering, like she probably just followed Tedros home and is not really talking.
Okay. All right, then that's where you two. So Tedros, you go to check on Yule. I suppose checking on Yule you don't really need to go anywhere because she's just kind of been following you
We've just
around.
been wandering together.
Yeah, like as you do stuff, Yule's just kind of been shadowing you and following you around quietly.
Like weirdly quietly.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
I don't really know what we do from here.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I mean, there's a trial. Are we going to be taking part in that? Are we supposed to just sit here and wait for all of the court things to figure themselves out, or?
I think that we can probably be there for the trial. I think it's possible that I think we can be there for the trial, and I don't really know what else happens beyond that. We know that we've managed to get things set up as much as possible to show everything that Dieter did. And the actual honest to goodness truth is that he is or was in league with an extraplanar entity and trying to allow it to come into the world to do what it does. And
we need to stop that.
We do need to stop that. And I think we've probably taken a lot of steps towards that. I imagine that if Dieter is Monty's counterpart, that was probably a decent blow. It's kind of hard to come into the world if, your biggest champion got his throat torn out by a werewolf. So
yes, but now we're trapped here, and I mean, I just have to assume they've got some sort of leg up. They've got to be planning something, and now we're just waiting for Monty to be found innocent.
He's from here. This is what they do here. And as long as he wants to go by their rules and go by the book, we can support it.
And at that point is where I will interrupt you because you are interrupted. You're probably in Tedros' workshop at this point since you were tinkering on things. So if you didn't have to go looking for Yule, you will just still be in the room you were working in.
Yule just like weirdly followed him into his workshop without saying anything. And he's just like letting her.
Yeah, by workshop, I mean like the room you're staying in that you've like kind of turned one corner of it into a workshop.
It's definitely more of a workshop that he sleeps in than a bedroom.
Right. Like it was originally a bedroom and then you moved into it and now it's a workshop.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, that one has a window that looks out into the courtyard in the rear of the building. And as you two are talking and kind of like going over this very significant information, you can just see like because it's dark outside, the room is lit by candles at this point. You can just see like the pale light of something in the courtyard just kind of like illuminate the ceiling from down below, sort of like the crossbars on the window just sort of like are silhouetted onto the ceiling of this sort of pale green light, which Tedros would recognize as the same color as the portal that Viktoria fell into in that same courtyard a few days ago. And Viktoria, you step out of the portal right at the exact same spot where you fell through originally, right in front of that tree. You just kind of step out, and it just, the swirling green portal just eventually, it's just sort of like spiraling, circling, and then just kind of like spins itself closed behind you.
Is it kind of like the same level of darkness as when she left? I remember she left during the night.
Probably that, maybe a slight bit lighter. Like probably there would be like, you know, it's still the pale light of dusk over the horizon. Like just like the sun is below the horizon, but you can just still see it from a distance. But since you're like in like around a building, it's just like imperceptibly brighter, but like probably would seem about the same level to you.
Okay. See. I thought he told me it was the same, like time passed the same. But has time passed? We're going to put that away for later. But anyways, is anyone in the courtyard?
Probably not, no. But you can see, like, you know your way around a house. You did stay here for a bit.
You said there's a window in this room to the courtyard. Did either of us notice the light?
Yeah, so you would, that's what I said. You would have seen the light.
We
It would
see
have
the
been like
light. Okay.
that yeah, you would have seen that light just like
Gotcha.
illuminate the ceiling. You know, like the shadow. You know how like windows have like the hashtag pattern of crossbars on them?
Yeah.
You'd have seen like that shadowed up onto the ceiling and that pale green light for a few seconds before it fades.
We just look at each other.
Tedros pushes the window open and says, Viktoria?
And you look up and you can see one of the windows just like push open, and you look up and to your right, you can see Tedros just like leaning out like his bedroom window.
Yul runs over and then like peeks up over.
What day is it? What question? What day is it?
Where have you been?
What day is it?
I don't know what day it is. End of
Tedros,
September?
Yeah, the first. Yeah, it's been a few days.
1st of September?
The day that you thought it would be based on the amount of time that should have passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
I'm coming down.
Okay.
We'll be right there.
Oh, okay. I will stay put. I will not go anywhere.
Yul just bounds out of the room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tedros will stop to. How does Viktoria look when he sees her?
She looks fucking great. Like the same, but like there's the slightest hint of more carefree than when she had left. Like something was bothering her, but now it's not anymore.
Probably, I would say actually also probably wearing a set of clothes that the other two of you haven't seen before. Nothing drastically different, but probably new. Since when you fell through, you didn't bring any of much of your stuff with you. You left all of your stuff
fair.
here.
That's
so you would have gotten a change of clothes where you were doesn't look, this time doesn't look like she's been in the woods or anything for days. Like Viktoria is probably her full normal levels of like noble, groomed and
Glam.
Groomed and glammed.
Okay. Then he will, as he's heading down the stairs, he will go to where he can get to one of the servants or ring for them and ask for some small food to be brought and to let Lady Stanway know that Viktoria is back.
Okay. Yeah, they'll like meet you out in the courtyard basically with like some leftover food, like a charcuterie board basically.
good charcuterie board.
Mm-hmm.
So we are approaching Viktoria.
Mm-hmm.
Yul is like running and then like stops several feet in front of you, and you can just see like tears start welling in her eyes, and she's like, Victoria, and she just jumps into your arms.
Oh, why are you here? Why?
I missed you so much. I didn't know where you went. And, well, both you and Galena and now Princess, all gone.
Princess is gone. Like, okay, like gone, like gone, or like gone.
She had to go back to her home, and
Okay, so not gone. Got it. Okay.
No, God,
Okay.
no. I wouldn't be able to give the information so casually, if that were the
I mean,
case.
trauma does quite a number on a person.
She had to leave for good reasons, but it was hard to see her go.
And Montblanc's in jail.
Yeah.
Ow.
And you've been gone. And Galena,
No,
I mean,
I knew
were-
that. I knew
but were
that.
you and Galena together?
No. Galena is back in Nayor.
Are you okay?
I'm great. I've never been better. To my knowledge, at least. Probably once before I could remember, but I don't remember it, so.
You don't remember where you went or
No,
what
no,
happened?
I know where I was, but like, I was more referring to the time before I could remember. Like,
Oh, yes,
7
yes.
months ago.
Okay. Well, what do you remember from this time?
I was just kind of on a little bit of a journey to reconnect with my cards.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, my cards have kind of been throwing a little bit of a fit lately, and like we hadn't been kind of as bonded as we were when I woke up with them. So we just kind of went to a place where we could, and we could reconnect, and I could get that bond back.
Okay.
But you're better now?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think I was ever like bad before, but I would say yes, I am better, more knowledgeable. I have a bit more at my disposal, one could say.
Also,
More... Sorry,
I
some...
was going to say, really quick, can I have Tedros and Yule both roll perception checks, please?
Yes.
Listen. Listen.
I'm gonna go with a solid 5 on that one there.
Okay.
Ooh, what is my... You said perception?
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, exactly what you needed to get the full details.
Sick.
So Tedros, it's a small thing.
Okay.
Tedros, you're too busy focusing on the fact that Victoria's back, and like after the whole night and day you've had, this is just having a friendly face back and having more of everyone back in one place kind of is just too much relief for you to care about much else. Yulyanya, on the other hand, you much like your physical self, your attention also bounces all over the place. So you're just kind of always taking in details around you. And it's just like as Victoria's talking and you're just kind of like looking at the new set of clothes that she's wearing, probably a dress usually.
Very similar to what she was wearing.
Yeah. Like it's very similar. It fits in the style, but there's always there's this like nagging feeling that something is weird about it. Like you can't quite put your finger on it until finally it does click, which is just kind of looking at it and like watching as she like moves and gesticulates. You can see that what catches your eye is the thing that you realize is weird about it is that the dress doesn't none of the clothes she's wearing has any seams. It's like as if the fabric was woven into that shape, as if it was like put together. You can even see there's places where like if there's two different materials or two different like types of fabric, like where they border up against each other, where like there should be a seam. It's as though like the fibers of one are completely woven and dovetailed into the fibers of another, as though like the entire thing was like woven by threads as opposed to taking pieces of fabric and putting them together. And it's strange, but it's like a very precise level of construction for this garment.
Wow, Victoria, your dress is amazing.
Do you like it?
Yes, I don't understand it.
I don't either. I'm going to be honest.
Where did you get it?
From one of the people that was kind of on the journey with me.
There were other people on the journey?
Like, I didn't really talk to them a whole lot, but there were other people where I was, yes.
Did they have carts?
Not all of them.
But they gave you an address.
Well, yeah, because like it's been a while since I left, right? And
How
I
long
only
were
brought
you there?
How long have I been gone?
A couple of days, maybe?
I was there. Time was the same. There was no difference in time. So like I thought there was a difference in time, but like there wasn't. It's all good.
Okay. Does your dress do anything?
I never really tested.
It just seems a little special.
It probably is special because it was like made for me.
There are all other sorts of dresses, right? Victoria had dresses, right? Right? Victoria got dresses made for the event.
I believe so, yes.
I think
Yeah,
Victoria
right.
was there for the
Mhm.
when
Yeah,
we
the
went
only-
out
yes.
and got dresses
Yeah.
designed for us for the events.
Yeah, I think the only one that didn't come with was Montblanc that day.
Yeah, okay. There are all sorts of dresses waiting for you, all of the dresses that we ordered already, and we have nowhere to wear them to because Tedros Stark is dead.
What?
But I got to be the spring bean.
What is a spring bean?
Oh, that takes a lot of explaining, but I got to feel special for a moment. And then Monty killed Dieter.
I was at this point, you all, especially Tedros, are very conscious of the fact that you're all standing outside discussing this.
Yeah. So
We should
she's just like,
probably get
Monty,
inside.
and then she's just like, whisper, whisper.
Mhm.
We should probably get inside, just in case.
There.
I feel like I missed so much.
You,
A
you
lot
could say
happened.
that, yeah.
Oh, I found my family.
Let's get inside.
They all go.
Yeah, you can all walk into the house, bring the charcuterie board with you, and find a place to sit down. I'm gonna guess probably up in the that sort of like half library sitting room in the upper floor where you first met Lady Stanmay.
We're still
Um,
in our outfits.
Yes, actually. Well, you would have had time to. You would have had some time to
No,
change
we-
out. It's been like,
we,
yeah, I think
we changed.
I think you changed when you got back.
When we
Because
got back, okay.
Yeah.
we went on. I took you guys on the boat so you could pass out, and then we changed.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, you like slept through the day on the ship on your ship back at the harbor.
Gotcha. That's
and
where my
then-
timing is messed up.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. You had a full night's rest in the middle of the day because you all stayed up all night long.
There we go. That helps me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you were all like almost up all night long 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, it was not great.
Mhm.
Okay. So never mind. We go inside.
Yeah, you can go inside. You can make your way up to the sitting room. You can all sit down. Of course, you know, the Lady Sandway's staff are all very much aware of discretion and everything, and just especially when she like catches her eye and sees, just like kind of just reads the situation. She just like, you know, whispers over to one of them, and like they just kind of make themselves scarce, and you have the privacy of like most of the second floor at this point.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
should
Where do we
probably
start?
At the beginning.
Yeah, like immediately after I was gone.
I don't have a great grasp on time.
I think the first thing that happened is that Princess left. She got a message from her homeland, and I don't entirely understand it, but I think it has something to do with someone who's there who's not supposed to be, and it meaning bad things for who she is and her people. She's an actual princess, by the way. She is like next in line. That so kind of on the nose there. So yeah, I don't know too much, except that she, I guess, sent some messages and named us under her protection, like officially, regally. So
that means that Monty can have alternative representation in his trial, and I'm skipping way ahead.
yeah. After that, we went to go investigate some stuff, and we found out that the reason that I don't know if you remember, Monty talked about there's a neighborhood that's kind of always sinking in one of the
Do you remember
poorer areas.
Cadence? Cadence, the musician. He lives in this area.
Yeah.
When did we meet Cadence?
He came back
Like
with us
very
on
early.
He came back here with us.
Was he the one Monty attacked?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, Cadence helped us to find this well that we went down, and underneath it was this like not a library, a
place,
temple or a museum or something, an
I
underground hidden area.
think that it was used for research. I think, and it was built on top of the ruins that I guess apparently are the connection to Monty's patron
And his dad.
Same person? No.
different, but kind
Yeah.
of tied together somehow. I still don't
We're
understand the
able to
specifics.
We're able to communicate to Monty's patron through his father now, because his father is kind of trapped in the same dimension.
A lot clearer than the like random moanings and groanings and
Yeah,
random
he can
stuff
speak.
on his arm. Yeah.
He can speak in more than 1 or 2 words at a time. So yeah, we killed the dragon thing that was down there. Or was that there somewhere else? We did a lot, and then flooded the place so that the people above the place wouldn't keep sinking.
Yeah. The way the place worked was that it had stuff that was pumping the water out, so that it wouldn't be flooded, and we kind of had to turn that off in order for the people above to stop having everything sink into the ground. So
And
They
were there
kept
people
having to-
below?
nope.
Ruins. I was looking for the word ruins. It was a ruin.
Draconic Union. So I mean, near as I can tell, most of it will be okay. I don't know if there was a small chapel to Gugut in there.
God, that must have been so hard for you.
No, I mean the
No?
choice was kind of easy. Keep ruining people's lives, or
Ruin the ruins.
yeah. So
But down there was this weird shell thing. And Monty wanted to touch it, and we wanted Monty to not touch it. And then when we talked to Monty's patron and his dad, they told us that the shell thing is part of a larger shell creature that actually wants to come to our world and take it over or something like that.
yeah.
That's a very loaded sentence right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bad.
I think the way I understand it is Monty's patron and this other thing are both from the same sort of place, but Monty's doesn't want to kill everyone and everything, or inflict existential horror on us at the least. And so, is pushing back against that And that, by the way, is also backing the Scarlet Skin Carvers. It's
What was it called again? Malacost?
yeah.
Yeah, the big shell thing is called Malacost. And he wants, I guess, to kill everyone or something. And so we need to work with Monty's patron to get it to not kill everyone. But it turns out that Malacost was working with Dieter. So our plan of killing Dieter was actually very useful in defeating Malacost, I think. But it wasn't supposed to go down the way it went. We had a plan. I was working the plan. I was the spring bean. And Monty really did not like the things Dieter was saying he was going to do to me. So he killed him.
Yeah. He knew about the mansion.
Yeah, he knew that we broke into Lord Bumblebutt's mansion.
I think you just skipped that part of the story entirely.
Yeah.
We broke into someone's mansion?
Yeah. It's
for a
okay.
little while.
He had a couple of artifacts from Malacost down there,
and then we had to fight a giant crab.
Why not just ask to go in?
Oh,
He wouldn't
because
have let us in.
Yeah, he's working with Dieter, so we went in to see if we could get some information, some stuff to prove Montblanc's innocence, his and his family's innocence.
Well, okay. Was this before or after the killing took place?
After. No, before.
Princess left, and then we went to the ruins, and then
No, Princess was there until after
with
the manor.
ruins.
Princess
that
left.
Is true.
Princess
is
left
true.
after.
Right,
Princess was in the
right,
manor.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went to the ruins, and then we went to the manor. We
fought
actually,
a crab man.
Yeah,
found some cool weird things.
Yeah, and Tedros reaches over and picks up the spell book and says, "I found a spell book."
Are they useful spells?
I guess. I mean, sort of, kind of. Not so. My magic doesn't work that way. Well, I guess maybe I could try and use it to work that way. I was thinking about giving it actually to Marietta.
Marietta. She was Dieter's I don't think they actually liked each other. She was his political match, I suppose. She was probably going to marry him after all of the courting was over.
I don't know. She didn't look like she was going to do the marriage.
She didn't want to, but that I think was supposed to be the plan. But I wanted to be the spring bean and distract Dieter, and that worked. And it turns out that Marietta didn't even want Dieter because he sucks.
Yeah. How are you doing right now?
It's a lot, but also I feel like we're not even scratching the surface.
I think it's pretty scratched.
Yeah, I think we got pretty deep below. Princess left right after the mansion.
I suppose we forgot about my family.
Yeah, we just kind of missed that part as well. Yeah,
well, I mean,
you don't have to talk about it.
Well, that happens at the party, and you kind of should know. I'm pretty sure a demon or a devil or some other type of fiend is involved, so we're gonna have to kill somebody. So you should know.
Well, I was very focused on Dieter, and I was focused on acting right and looking nice. And then I step off the boat and see a circus tent. I went in and it was my family, or I guess who I called my family. And they all did not seem very happy to see me.
Nonsense.
They
weren't, but
then they are your family, not your
they
family.
They were very surprised to see me, is what I'll say. I asked why they left me. They said that they thought I was right behind them. They said that they thought if they left me, then someone would take care of me in the south. They said a lot of things. And then I saw Sister, and she actually was happy to see me. But she looked scared. And I was confused why until we met a scary lady.
Lady Shasa, the fiend in question, is the patron of the circus. And if I had to put my money on it, I think she talked a lot about contracts and things like that, and Yule being an official part of the circus.
I accidentally said that I was part of the circus before I knew who she was, and then she was upset because how dare there be a member of her circus when she didn't know that there was someone on contract. So I just told her that I never got paid. I mean, I did never get paid.
And she never signed anything.
And you did not sign anything this time?
No.
Okay, good. Do not don't do anything you don't know the consequences of.
Sister always just took me around and taught me the way of performing in what I thought was her circus. It turns out it's not hers. At least not anymore.
And you'll I don't know how it's gonna be to hear this, but I think that they left you on purpose, because if they took you, that you would have ended up in whatever situation they're in. So I don't want you to think that they don't care about you, because
It's a good thing that they left you.
I'm not going to say it's a good thing they left. I think they should have explained to her what was going on. Maybe it would have been her choice.
I mean, maybe there was like a clause in contract that said they could not explain.
Maybe they could have just dropped me off at the valley, where at least I know I guess I don't belong there either.
I can't. They made the decisions that they made, and I'm not going to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to what they did. I don't know what I would do in that position. I probably would have done everything I could to explain, but I don't know if, like you said, it's possible they might not have been able to. And at the end of the day, they still did what they did, which is didn't take her with them.
It's okay. I'm used to rejection.
Well,
It's fine.
I don't know how or why, but more importantly, I didn't see any rejection at that party.
Yes, tell me about the party. Who was there?
Well,
what was it like?
Besides the circus, Monty was.
Fuck the circus. I just want to know good parts of the party. That's all I want to know.
Well, Monty was talking to a bunch of older women. Not quite sure what that was about.
I think he was trying to save. I think he was trying to save some poor guy from them.
Oh, that makes more sense. We found out that Marietta Avir is a spellcaster as well. And she's not somebody who would be having trouble changing the flavor of some beverages, put it like that.
Okay.
Yeah. She was quite instrumental, actually, in helping to put out the first fire that Monty started.
There was a fire?
There were two.
Like legitimate fires or metaphorical fires?
No, I mean, like, the building was going to go up. It eventually ended up going up.
3 days. I lived for 3 days. And you guys are committing mass arson.
It was a little bit more than 3 days. Okay.
Well, I mean,
more than 3
technically,
days.
I think that he was trying to set the fire to get me away from Dieter.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I may or may not have been at a private dinner with him.
Yeah.
So our plan was for me to seduce Dieter, and it kind of worked. At least I thought it worked. I mean,
it worked real well. Yeah. He only had eyes for Yule once he saw her.
Victoria's gonna definitely she's focusing on the story, but she's gonna go to high five Yule. Just
she jumps up for a little high five.
Yeah, good job, yes. I'm very proud.
So yeah, I had to go up to him when he was in a hot tub full of people and say hello.
Hot tub.
I just let him know that I was very excited to make his acquaintance and grateful for the invitation to his party, and then I batted my eyelids and he got out of the tub.
Okay, Was this a tub similar to like the hot springs back in like the mountains that we were at?
No, it was on his private island.
Yeah.
the private island.
Yeah.
So yes, we had dinner. He asked if I would have dinner with him on the terrace. It was just us all alone and kind of scary. Obviously, he's a bad man. But kind of exciting.
Very bad.
I got to put all of my practice into play. I got to actually do what Sister has taught me to do, entertaining our clients, and I got to do what you and Galena and Princess have taught me to do, being beautiful and alluring. And
Well, you did not need us to teach you that.
well, whatever it was, it worked. Until Monty set the house on fire.
Okay,
But I think
Is
that
this
happened
first or second?
because, well, I think that happened
First fire.
because someone came in while I was at dinner with Dieter and told him that we broke into Lord Mumblebutt's manor.
his manservant. Yeah. Not great. I think. I also think he might have been trying to do something or use magic to taunt Monty or something, because he very quickly got up and then went to go set a fire. And once the fire
Oh.
started,
Yeah, Dieter and Monty have this weird connection where they like always know where each other is.
Ah,
I guess
marriage.
they used to. Dieter's dead now.
like not coming back.
Well, he had his
I
throat
hope not.
ripped out, is what I heard. I wasn't there.
I was there, unfortunately. Well, I know. No, actually, I would say it was fortunate, because I don't know if Monty would have made it out otherwise. But
Well, also
guys
Lady
let
Shasa was
Monty-
there. Lady Shasa was there and working for Dieter.
And you let Monty go by himself?
I want to be clear about something.
Hope he is clear as
It's
you want to.
real hard to stop a guy that size with that much strength who also turns into a werewolf.
Surely
Well,
there is a
physically,
magic. Surely
mean,
there's magic somewhere.
We need
do
to
it.
say, I didn't know
Technically,
what was
he didn't.
happening.
Technically, he didn't go anywhere. I mean, he set a fire at the place where he was having dinner.
Well, and then he came back around and started fighting him.
Yeah, yes. But it was all at the same location. It's not like we could have held him back from going anywhere. I mean, granted, I had run because there was a fire. I didn't know Monty set it.
Yeah. I wanted to contact you, but as it turns out, if one of your friends is fighting a werewolf, creepy fish monster, and some sort of demon lady, I still don't know what Lady Shasa is. Yeah.
It's probably for the best that I wasn't there. I mean, we could probably find out some sort of lie about the times that she saw us together, but we couldn't figure out some sort of lie about me being there at Dieter's murder.
Well, that's not the important part. The important part right now is that Dieter's dead. His manservant's dead. Lady Shasa said something about her business being concluded once Monty ripped his throat out with his bare teeth.
That's not good. That does not
Actually,
bode
it's
well.
claw, but
Was it a claw?
it was the claw on the side of the throat, and then the portal
yeah.
opened, and then
Yeah.
the crab legs started pulling him through. And when
Yeah.
they kind of tug a ward, and through that process, ripped off most of his throat.
My teeth.
Oh, was it teeth? Okay,
Oh,
okay. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I thought it was the
my
claw.
teeth.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Oh, your voice is doing better.
Kind of
Um,
kinky.
Yeah, I guess the portal just sucked up his body. So in terms
Yeah.
of whether he's coming back, who's to say?
It would be nice if he didn't.
When has anything nice in that regard ever happened to us?
I mean, we came together.
We did come together. That's very nice. Yes.
So we apparently Monty can do impressions now, like supernaturally
Yeah.
good impressions. So he turned into Dieter, and
No. Is this why he got arrested?
no,
No, actually, completely unrelated.
not unrelated, but
I mean, it's not related to the specific crime he was arrested for.
Well, so
What specific crime was he arrested for?
the one that he was wanted for when we got here.
His original sin.
His original
You-
sin was trusting Dieter.
Exactly.
Okay. You can't get arrested for trusting somebody. And
He's
forgive me-
arrested. He was he was on wanted posters and things because of the
Framing for the
Mutiny!
mutiny. Yeah.
That was like so long ago. Surely there's like statute of limitations on it.
well.
Eh,
Here's
if-
the thing: when Dieter died, Monty turned into Dieter so that we could frame him for things.
For what he
Namely,
did?
Things he actually did is the fun. You
Like,
framed him for the crimes he actually
we
committed.
framed him for some crimes he actually committed and then claimed that he tried to kidnap me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That might have been the next thing that he attempted. So I'm not gonna say that that was framing either. I don't know what he told Monty.
Well, what we did was we went around the mansion and burned a bunch of things that looked like evidence. And Monty took the orchid,
Mhm.
all the way out, away from the island, and then I guess jumped into the sea, turned back into himself, came to land, and I got out into a boat, jumped in the water, got myself all wet, and came to a bar to proclaim that Dieter von Stark had tried to kidnap me.
And I stayed back to make sure partially to make sure the mansion burned fully this time. Hopefully no one will be able to get to so underneath in the basement, trap room, that sort of stuff. Dieter apparently had a tunnel portal combination thing to get to Malacost. So that was unsettling at best.
It was actually just a statue that could speak, basically. It was a massive statue, but it was just basically like a carving.
Yeah. And that was enough. That's whatever Malacost is, whatever he counts as, is not something that we are going to want in this world at all.
So we took or how did that all go down? Monty's in jail now.
Yeah, he turned himself in, and I delivered a letter that Dieter wrote, confessing his crimes and implicating Lord Mumbleton, and who was actually helping him. That's whose manor we broke into. I don't know if we used his actual name the first time.
A few
I keep
times.
thinking it's Bumblebutt.
Close enough. So the Navy has that information, and
As well as our testimony about everything that went down that night. So now, hopefully, they believe that Dieter von Stark did all of the things that Dieter von Stark did, went stark raving mad, and kidnapped me.
and so Monty, supposedly hearing this, turned himself in so that a trial could be conducted and his family's name could finally be cleaned.
And because of Princess giving us status as knights, or at least Monty as status as a knight, that means that he can have representation outside of Titan's Grave in the court matters, meaning his mother, who's been disgraced, can represent him. She can have her day in court.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Now, is this the same Navy that was loyal to Dieter?
Yes, but
some members of the Skin Carvers were directly working with him, but most people just, as far as I can tell, just followed Navy hierarchy.
I think that the majority of people didn't know about these going-ons, and there were a small amount of people who did. So getting everything out in the open is probably going to help.
Also worth
Yeah.
mentioning, when I was disguised as Dieter, I told the head guy, I can't think of his name right now, that the Scarlet Skin Covers have infiltrated the Navy and to investigate everybody thoroughly.
Thank you. I was like trying to remember all the things you did as Dieter.
A lot.
A
Yeah.
lot.
A lot.
Got it done.
So that's where we are with things.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's been pretty active, yeah.
But the
okay.
worst of it all was that I went to a fancy party and neither of my two sisters were there.
I'm sorry. If I could have been here, I would. Like, believe me, I wanted to. But then it was like, oh, what time is it? Oh shit! After the party. Oops. I have no excuse for my lateness.
So these portals, they just show up and take you?
Kind of. I don't know how they work. They just are kind of there.
Is that scary?
The first time, yeah, it was a little scary, but now like it's kind of familiar, you know. But like, how are the both of you like holding up here?
It's been easier, but we have a lot of answers, and there's a lot of hope on the horizon. I want to believe that these people will do what they're supposed to do and recognize what Dieter did as being deeply wrong. And Montblanc will have his family name restored, and they can get back to being who they're supposed to be. And we now know more about the carnival, more about what's going on, more about the circus, and we can take some steps to free them. And
I don't know how I feel about the circus. Part of me is saying just let them go.
If they signed those contracts willingly, it is hard to break someone out of a deal that they've willingly gotten themselves into.
but not impossible.
It's not impossible, no, but it is an uphill battle. You cannot help someone unless they want to be helped.
Well, and it seems like they want nothing to do with me.
Then that's their loss.
Oh, who am I kidding? I can't leave sister like this. Something's clearly wrong. But I know that I still believe what I said in the beginning of our journey. I want to help all of you figure out your problems, and I wanted to find my family, and I guess I found them. They just didn't want to be found.
If we found them once, we can find them again. And we can
Something's telling me they might find us.
Well, then we will be ready for them.
I hope so. I will let you know, though, this is who or whatever Lady Shasa is not something minor. She walked through the most powerful spell I had. Like, it was nothing.
Then we get even more powerful spells, and
I will say
we get more tricks up our sleeves.
Sister's one of the scariest people I've ever met. I mean, she's amazing. She is. But she's terrifying. And I've never seen Sister scared of anyone. But she's scared of Lady Shasa.
I know something that Monty did was able to hurt her, so
she can be hurt. That's all we need, is that little bit of hope.
Yeah, I'll work on being able to handle something more powerful. And who knows? Maybe I'll be able to shoot her.
Oh yes, your shooty thing. How is that going?
And he doesn't have it on him, but he does say, "I finished it."
You finished it. Oh my god, and I missed it. Oh, I'm so sorry that I was not here to celebrate that moment with you. That is
It's okay.
terrible friend of me. I am so incredibly sorry.
I haven't used it. I did carry it because I figured no one knows what it is currently, and it'd be a lot easier to bring in a weapon no one's seen or heard of in who knows how many years, to a party where we would probably need weapons. And unfortunately, I was right. So
I bet you felt so powerful carrying it.
it was nice to have the backup, but that's not usually. I mean, at the end of the day, that's not usually what I have to fall back on anyway. I have a little bit of extra assistance, if you catch my drift. So
Just be careful. The feeling of power can be addicting.
I brought all my weapons and then I didn't even get to fight anyone.
That's terrible. That's tragic.
But I do have a really nice new quarterstaff. And then she just like pulls her quarterstaff out of her hair and just got a little like it's like blue, like a dark blue wood, like the tree bark was blue, and it's got like cracked like gold designing, like golden, like gold leaf detailing.
Oh my, that is amazing. Where did you get that?
At the market. They
That
have all
was a
sorts of cool
market?
things. We could go.
Well, it's currently nighttime, so I don't know if it's
Oh,
open.
not right now. I just mean I could show you at some point.
If I am still here when this all blows over.
Are
we
you
could go.
scared that you're going to get taken again?
My track record is not the greatest with sticking around for very long.
It's okay. I'm happy that you're here now.
I am very happy to be here now. It definitely felt like you two needed to, get it off your chests. What had happened to a not unbiased third party, but someone who could understand, but also had no physical stake in it being there,
Tedros and I have been spending a lot of time alone together because everybody keeps
Departed?
disappearing. We only have each other a lot of the time. I mean, Monty's in jail, so I've been really relying on him, and he's been wonderful helping me not feel like I'm losing my mind. I missed you guys so much.
Every single day. Come here.
She comes in and gets a hug.
Yeah. And then she'll hug you for a bit. And then she'll just like look over at Tedros and just come on.
Tedros goes in for a hug as well.
She's gonna squeeze these two fuckers so tight.
No.
We getting squeezed. I can
like
feel it.
full strength too. Like just
You don't know how bad they needed a Viktoria hug.
like probably like some backs crack.
I'm okay with that.
It's been a rough couple of days. He's probably
It's-
really tense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Working on taking it easy. Not so much.
Well, that was certainly a heavy session there.
Sorry to just dump all of that information on you, but you've been gone for a bit.
Yeah, I mean I would prefer to not go into anything blind. Despite my track record.
I mean, at this point in time, we can only really tell you what happened. I have absolutely no idea what might happen next.
Oh, no one knows what's going to happen next. We can't see the future.
But isn't that what the cards are for?
They only tell us what the future could be. They don't say that this is going to happen this time. They kind of just say, hey, given the past, this is the logical But like, if you're going down the road and the paths say, every other time you've hit a fork, you've gone left, they're going to tell you what's on the left side. But then if that fork coming up in the future, you're like, fuck it, I'm going right. They don't know that.
Oh. I'm missing my lessons with Galena. Could you teach me now that you're here?
I don't remember where you left off, but
I can show you what I know.
Yes.
I believe in you. I know you could help me.
I'm not the teacher of the two of us, but I can see what I can pull out.
All right. Well,
now that I can read my cards again, it's gonna go a lot sooner.
Yeah, I figured. Tedros says, I'm actually gonna go check on something for a bit, and I'll be right back.
All right. Let's go ahead and follow Tedros. And where's Tedros going?
Tedros is going back to his room.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to get his gun so that he can bring it back and show it.
Not where I thought that was going.
Imposter.
But he will also use a 3rd level spell slot on sending. And he will send a message to Marietta there.
Okay.
And the message he will send is, "It's Tedros. You can respond." That's just going to be my default, like, first 5 words.
Okay.
I have a book that might help in teaching more magic. If you want it, we're at Lady Stanway's mansion. That should be all 25.
Okay. 1 second.
And then he'll head downstairs with the gun.
One second. Let me just compose a response here.
Is Yuli working off of playing cards?
Yep.
Okay. Fuck. Oh, this is really gonna test mine and Victoria's.
Oh, Yule's not had any like lessons that we've acted out. We just say that she's learning with Galena.
Okay. Victoria is very much just like picking a card from her own deck and then showing it to Yule and being like, which one is this? And no matter what Yulyanya says, she's like, good job, good job.
This is gonna set her back so much.
Victoria doesn't know how they convert to a regular playing card.
Yule is going to like get things like very wrong and then know that she's wrong, and you're gonna say like that she's right, and she's gonna be like, I don't think so. like in her mind, she can like, she's catching on with the more answers that she's unsure of that you just say are right. She's like, wait a minute.
Victoria is kind of like, every so often she'll kind of like look at her cards and kind of be like, what is this one?
Really quick, while each of you are doing that, Tedros, you do get a response back from Marietta, which is, hello. Thank you. That sounds good, I think. I will come by and get that from you. I don't know what kind of... Doesn't know there's a 25-word limit, so it just stops halfway through a sentence.
Yeah. He will send another message and say, "This is Tedros. You can respond. There's 25-word limit, so brief and to the point is better."
Okay, I shall respond. Oh, that makes sense. Not used to being terse. We'll come get book tomorrow. And that's all she says.
And he will save the third slot in case he needs it. But is probably back by that point.
Okay.
And now this one. Which one is this?
I think that one is it Ace of Hearts?
Yes, good job, good job, good job.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to my room and do some studying on my own. Thank you. Thank you so much for
I'm
helping.
always happy to help. Always happy to
It's
help.
been so helpful. She's just gonna put her cards away and just like clutch them to her chest and walk away like, what the fuck magic does Viktoria do? she okay?
Remains to be seen. To
Alright.
both questions.
Mm-hmm. So Tedros returns back into the room, and you can see it's like basically as you get back, Yule's going to bed, and Victoria's still in there.
Oh, Yule, you're heading.
She's going to do some studying on her own.
Yes. Viktoria has been so helpful. But I think I just need some time alone with the cards, just to speak to them.
Okay, sure.
And like as she's passing Tedros, she's gonna lean in and just be like, I don't think she knows what these cards are. And just walk away.
Lessons going that well, huh?
How was your thing you were checking on?
Oh, I just thought you might want to see it, so I brought it.
Okay.
And you see a smallish revolver, silver color, I think. Silver color. You can see that there are some places where it's been touched up a little bit, but for the most part, looks like an older weapon that's been restored. 6-barrel revolver, and he kind of pops it open so you can and kind of talks about how the bullets go in and what he thinks happens, because he hasn't actually fired it yet. He just knows that all the mechanisms are where they're supposed to be. But he says, yeah, so you pull this and this thing hits that kind of like a little hammer, and that causes a small piece of metal to fly out really fast, I think. And it should, in theory, work a lot like a crossbow.
And how many of these little pieces of metal that fly do you have?
Not a ton. That's probably the next thing I have to work on. But I do have enough in case it needs to be, used right now. And yeah.
And like, how far do you predict that the metal will go?
That's a good question. Were there notes about it? Because I know that there were some notes about increasing the weapons. I think some of the notes were about increasing the weapons range.
I think so. The other thing too is just from your understanding of like barrel length rifling, gunpowder load, like all that stuff, you would probably have been able to calculate within a fair, like fairly close margin of error, what the range should be. And as I pull that up, let's see, it looks like it is, this is the right one, revolver, 2d8, yeah, range 40, 120, so yeah, like short range 40 feet, long range 120 feet.
Yeah, I So normally I think most people would probably have some trouble hitting from that far out, but I do have, thankfully. Well, no, I would still have trouble hitting out further than that, I think. But I am pretty good at not getting tripped up by people being close. So I could use it from close, or I can use it from a little bit further away. And if the wind isn't blowing too hard, I can hit somebody from pretty far away. Not entirely sure how much. Well, getting hit with anything, moving that far, that fast, probably is going to do some damage, but I haven't actually shot anything, so I wouldn't know.
Best guesstimate from Victoria's time exploring. How long, length of the yard? Is it more than 120 feet?
The back courtyard?
Yeah.
The courtyard itself is less than 120 feet, but Lady Stanway no, it's less than 120 because this is like townhouses basically is where you're in right now.
Okay, so don't shoot it in the backyard is what you're saying.
Yeah, you'd probably hit something, yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. There's not really any room for me to test it. And, I brought it as backup for the party in case it was absolutely necessary, but I would like to make sure everything works before I actually have to use it. So
it would be a good idea to test it. I'm not sure we'd be able to test it in backyard. Maybe, I don't know where the water is, where the shore is to the ocean. We could shoot it into the ocean, see if it just goes.
thought about that. I'll figure that out though.
We don't have to figure it out tonight.
Yeah. Would have been nice to be able to show you before you go.
You've showed me now, and I can use my imagination to figure out the rest, I guess. I'm sure it works. I mean, you are very capable at fixing things, so.
Yeah. I think I do okay.
I think you do more than okay, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. Don't know how much that has weight for you.
Still quite a bit.
Even though I've been gone 3 days with no explanation.
Even though you've been gone 5 days with no explanation.
3 days, 5 days, same thing.
Yeah.
Legitimately, how are you doing though?
It's a lot. One of my friends is trying to figure out how she's going to handle perhaps all the people she grew up with, treated her like a person, maybe being part of a cursed hell carnival or something. And another one of my friends is currently in the cell, which he will not be staying in if he gives me the go-ahead.
Jailbreak.
Let's just say I would tear the Navy apart if they tried to stop me.
See, I've never done a jailbreak before, but it's kind of always been on my list of buckets.
Well, weird thing to say. I hope you're disappointed this time. I would like to not have to fight that many people all at once.
Okay, but if you do a jailbreak right, you don't have to fight people. You just escape. And then you never come back to this area again.
Wonderful. Exactly what we need when he's trying to clear his family's name.
Also a fair point. I've let my ambition get ahead of myself.
Knowing us, we'll end up in jail again at some point.
We avoided being international criminals once. We can do it again.
Well, we'll see about that part.
And at that point, Lady Stanway comes up the stairs and walks over and says, "All right, the two of you, it is starting to get late, and Montblanc's mother, or whatever we want to call him, will be coming tomorrow morning to discuss her part of the trial and the evidence that you all gathered. So you should probably get some rest."
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Welcome back, my lady. It's very lovely to have you return.
It is very lovely to be back, my lady. Thank you.
And Tedros will extend a hand and let Viktoria walk out before him.
All right. Y'all head to bed. Your days have been eventful enough that, like, you don't have, even despite the fact you slept through most of the day, you would not have trouble falling asleep.
Yeah.
Even Viktoria?
Oh, yeah. Well, Victoria's actually had a normal sleep schedule this whole time.
Yeah, like Victoria's just like, oh, circadian rhythm. Let's go.
Yeah, these two are the ones who've been staying up all night for a few nights and then falling asleep during the day. You're the one who's actually been getting like a normal, good sleep schedule.
Yeah.
So I've just been working on myself, like I feel great.
All right. So y'all go to bed?
Yeah.
All right. You all wake up then, you get your long rest. Get your spell slots back. We'll actually start as you're all waking up. I don't know who wakes up first in the morning, but you all just kind of like wake up, get ready, have your breakfast and everything, get ready to start the day. And at some point while you're beginning your day, there will be one of the staff will come up to all of you while you're eating and say, Lady Marietta Veer calling.
Lady Stanway, I should have mentioned that last night.
Not a problem.
Sorry. Thank you for being gracious.
Of course. Shall we let her in, or would you like to meet her at the door?
I will meet her at the door. And Tedros goes to meet her at the door.
Okay.
Sorry, we're all in the same
Yeah,
room
I would say it was like
for
during the tail end of breakfast, yeah.
Yule would just sort of brighten up at the mention of Marietta and be like, "Can I come?"
Yeah, sure.
She'll come to the door.
It'll probably be easier if, well, just bring her in here. Let's go.
I don't know who this is.
Oh, she was do you remember the flyers? I think Monty used one to wipe his ass when we were coming in, but it was talking. We got like a piece of paper that's some gossip about town.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
That's who she is.
Remember, yeah, Dieter was going to, or he
The
was
betrothed.
seen with, yeah,
Formerly betrothed. Yes. Okay.
kind of betrothed. I mean, the whole courtship ceremony thing was going on, but
Yeah, let's go get her.
there
instead
was
of letting her head
gossip.
the door.
There was
okay,
gossip.
great. Come with me, Yul. We can
Yes, coming.
Okay.
All right, so you meeting her at the door then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, she's standing in the entryway looking, not dressed like in a full party outfit, but just like kind of like a nice dress with her hair pulled up. She's just kind of standing there, just like hands clasped in front of her, just looking around the entryway, admiring all the paintings, because like the front entryway was kind of a gallery of Lady Stanway's former proteges, including Montblanc's mom, who the photo, by the way, you see the painting. In the painting, Lady Stanway does like they're always portraits of Lady Stanway standing with the person, so you can see like her at various stages in her life. And when you pass by this one, it's funny because like you haven't really had a chance to look at them, but like seeing her look at them, or you've looked at them, you've passed by them a bunch, but seeing her look at them draws your attention to them again. And when you see the one of Montblanc's mom, it's really weird because Lady Stanway looks noticeably younger, but Montblanc's mom looks exactly the same as when you met her.
Yeah,
because she's an elf. But yeah, you see Lady Marietta when she sees you, she just hello again. And she does a little like half bow as you all walk in.
Hello.
Hi.
Yule does a little curtsy.
I don't want to be rude, but a magical voice in my ear told me to meet you. Okay, so I wasn't.
That's me. No.
That's Tedros. Tedros is pretty magical.
All right, so
Victoria's just like peeking around the corner.
She's like, so that did happen. That was a communication. I wasn't just.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. I wanted to make sure.
Come on, we're having breakfast or just finishing up.
Oh, all right. Yes.
Oh, as soon as she hears that Victoria's going back to the table to like act natural.
Just pretend nothing happened.
All right, yeah. You can lead her back into the breakfast room, and as she walks in, she sees Victoria and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We haven't had a chance to meet. I'm Lady Marietta Veer.
Victoria.
Lovely to meet you.
Lady Victoria of the 5-star Chalice.
Yeah, Lady Victoria of the 5-star Chalice and Mayor.
Oh, yes. I was going to say I recognize the Aeorian title.
Yes.
And if you don't remember me, I'm Yulyanya Skybringer.
Yes, we met at the party. Yes, and she reaches out a hand and shakes your hand.
It's wonderful to see you again.
You as well.
Okay. And Tedros will kind of look around and to any of the servants and Lady Stanway say, "Can we just get a little bit?"
She just nods. With her, she's kind of nods, taps her cane 3 times on the floor, and all of the staff in the room just like put down whatever they're doing and all just turn to the nearest exit and just like vacate the room all in like a single motion as she gets up and just kind of like slowly makes her way out after them and just like gives you all a nod.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry. I
just waves you off.
Yeah. And when the door closes, Tedros says, like, I feel bad. Like this is not really our place to. Anyway,
she's been lovely helping us and letting us be here.
All right, well, guess I should get to it. And Tedros pulls his medallions out from underneath his shirt, and he takes the one of Gugut off, and you can see the other one that's holding the coin is underneath that one. And he says,
"Are you still wearing hers?"
Yes.
Okay. I'd hope so.
Yes.
I don't know if she left it behind.
He's still wearing her coin. And
didn't you have something done to it though?
It has its own little like coin holders, the same as what other Aeorians have for theirs. And he says, I am a follower of Gugut. And so through that, he's a very, I guess, old god is the best way to describe him. And I understand what you're going through. This, and he puts a hand on like a teacup and casts light and says, this is something that I've been able to do since I was pretty young. And it was received a bit differently where I came from, and to a degree, there are reasons why I'm no longer there anymore. But since encountering Gugut, I can do other things. And he says, like sending that message, and And then he looks over and he starts kind of one by one lighting candles.
Yeah, she just like watches. You can see your eyes open and just like watches in awe as you just start.
And then he says, "This is nothing's wrong. Don't be alarmed." But and with his new cantrip, thaumaturgy, he causes the ground to shake. Some harmless tremors in the ground. He doesn't. He doesn't.
I miss?
He doesn't like. He doesn't hold it
Moss.
for like the full minute. He just does it for just a couple seconds.
Are we showing
So
off? Can I too?
yeah,
And
Yeah.
Yule will just take like, I don't know, literally anything on the table. Like if there's like a muffin or
Mhm.
something, she just holds the muffin up and then it starts glowing.
Oh, all right.
I can do more dangerous things, but I probably shouldn't in the house.
Okay.
there are other things that I can do, and those things are probably best not seen unless we have a problem. And obviously, nobody here has a problem with anybody here.
Tedros is dangerous.
Very
Um,
dangerous. Don't get on
I
his
don't-
bedside.
Oh my god!
Oh, okay.
Scary.
Terrifying.
I'm definitely not dangerous. Both of them are talking me up
He's
right now.
terrifying.
He has what I think is something that shoots people, which is scary.
That is a thing that anybody could have. Well,
Yeah,
not
but it's
not
a little
everyone
bit
should have it.
different. It's a little bit different.
I think only you are the one who could make it, right? You're really special. Your brain is smart.
Well, thank you, but that's not a supernatural thing. That's a natural thing. And I
Oh,
guess
so
You
what I'm
seem
trying to say,
supernaturally smart, though.
But he's just
Oh.
naturally gifted. Yeah, sure, of course.
Naturally talented.
what I'm trying to say, is
Yeah,
that-
Yule and Victoria are just like flipping their hair.
yeah. What I'm trying to say is that you are not the only one who has abilities like what you have. In fact, it's fair to say that most of the people, kind of all of the people we travel with, are special in a couple ways.
Monty can be underwater for a very long time.
So I would rather let other people talk about what they can do. But yes, just know that we all.
I just think that's the most impressive thing he can do.
I can cause
Stays
people
down there
lots of
so
pain.
long.
You can what?
Cause people lots of pain.
Oh, okay.
And she can sort of kind of almost tell the future on a good day.
I wouldn't go as far as that, but my talents are very much offensive, like on the offense rather than
Well-
defense.
Okay.
I can sort of kind of tell the future on a good day.
Oh,
Of course you can. We just keep up our lessons and
I'm
we'll be good to
learning.
go.
Different people have different abilities, and those abilities will often present themselves in various ways.
Oh shit, I forgot my axe. Fuck.
Do you need it now?
Wait, where did you forget it?
I don't remember if I brought it with me.
no, you'd have it, yeah.
Okay, I did bring it with me. I must have left it upstairs. Never mind. I don't need it for breakfast.
Glad to hear that. Anyway, I thought it would be good for you to know that you're not alone in what you can do.
Actually, wait for a second. It's actually, you say like, oh wait, I forgot my axe, and then like as you're thinking about it, like a minute later, you just hear just very faint whoosh, clang from upstairs towards your room.
We're just gonna ignore that. Thank you. Oh, nice, continue. Continue.
What I'm trying to say is, I don't know what your experience is like here, but I know that when I was growing up and I had my abilities, it was not easy for me. And so if you need help, if you want help, I'd like to offer it as much as I can.
Although you're probably not in as much danger as before.
That's good. I would
Well, I mean,
appreciate.
you were up for a life of sadness, right?
I sort of, I suppose. I would appreciate help, though. Yes.
Okay. So I have. Okay, I have this, and he picks up the spell book and says, I don't. Okay, so different people focus their abilities in different ways. Mine is kind of more of a spiritual connection. Victoria, is it okay if I talk about yours?
Oh, go for it. I love when you talk about me.
Noted. Victoria and her twin sister, Galena, both make use of cards, and there's a magic in those cards that they can use to do different things. Yule actually has the ability to kind of throw light around.
And hurt people with it.
Oh.
That's my girl.
You haven't met Galena, and you also haven't met Princess. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm still kind of unsure about the full extent of Princess's abilities. I just know that it's a lot. And Montblanc's got some stuff as well, and I don't know how much he told you. But
Oh, but doesn't she know him by another name?
yes, you probably know him as somebody who's currently in Navy custody.
I did hear rumors that Sullivan Orncroft had returned.
Yes.
Is that him?
That is him.
Oh.
And what you've heard about him isn't true. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. All right. That
He's a
makes
good
sense.
man. He was
did-
just framed.
Yes, he did. I met him at the party. He seemed very nice.
Yeah. It's so well, this is the other part that I thought was important for you to know. Obviously, we don't mean you any harm, just trying to kind of explain things to you, but there are also people who are not so nice in the world. Dieter von Stark was one of those people, and he also had, in addition to whatever his personality and his status afforded him, he also had abilities kind of like ours, from a different, very much, yeah.
Yeah, remember the whole Malakost thing?
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know if that meant like he had like abilities. I thought that
He's
just meant like,
basically
Yeah, he was
like
magic.
he's basically same sort of deal going on as Monty.
Yeah, he's like Negamonty.
Yeah, very much like the opposite of him.
oh,
Yeah, but like
Okay.
opposite in like same sort of abilities, but like one is, used to protect people most of the time, and one of them is used to frame people for crimes.
He looked a lot different than what Monty thought he looked like too. Like, he's big and buff and beefy. He wasn't like that before, not when Monty dated him.
I'm
So
really sad
apparently
that I missed this.
Malakost gives lots of powers.
Or,
Duly noted. Duly noted. Let me just write
Or
that
he
down
worked
somewhere.
out because he has a good work ethic. Dieter, yeah, right.
Or perhaps all the trappings afforded to him by his station helped him to thrive. I'm pretty
I guess
sure.
maybe, but those muscles seemed really suspicious.
Yeah, Tedros, we were there at the fight with him, and you do remember that basically every time he was hit, basically like the cut, like every time he was cut or something like did like damage his skin, you could see that there was a layer of crab-like chitin under his skin that provided him
Tedros
like
didn't
protection.
include that part.
Yeah, but so like there was something else, like his physical form was magically altered, so you would actually know that like that's a possibility for the cause of his appearance. Maybe those weren't muscles; it was just crab shell under his arms.
I just remember Monty saying that he was not big Gaston like man, and now after crab he is.
So what we're saying is he had crabs.
To do that.
He had crabs.
Very much.
No shade to anyone who has crabs. STDs aren't like a moral thing.
Yeah, this is true. Well, magic could be used to. Can I have your hand?
Sure.
And Tedros will put his hand over hers, and he will cast. He will cast. I know what my spells are. Enhance ability. At 2nd level, and he will enhance her strength.
You can see when you do, just like there's just sort of like a inhale of breath, and like you can see she just like kind of starts rising up almost as she like kind of naturally kind of goes up onto the balls of her feet, like without even noticing it, before like settling herself back down, as if like she's just suddenly feels herself so like significantly lighter, to the point that she just like naturally starts lifting herself up onto her toes before she catches herself and kind of lowers back down.
You know how heavy the chair you're sitting in is now, right?
More or less, yes.
Try moving it around now. Be very careful, be very gentle. And it will be
all right. She'll kind of stand up and like looking around is like a little like sheepishly, as though like this might be some kind of prank or something. She will stand up and she will like, there is a moment she grabs the chair and then she lifts it. And it's like one of those things where she lifts it way too fast.
Yeah. Tedros is waiting for that and like kind of like grabs the chair, goes to grab the chair.
It doesn't like hit herself in the face or anything. It just kind of like goes up a little faster. Like it weighed half as much as she was expecting.
If it was me, I would have hit myself straight in the face. I just know it.
Bam!
Just clocked right in the nose.
I ran into a table yesterday. Anyway, continue.
As soon as she lifts it, Victoria's
well, that feels lighter.
Yeah. And just kind of hold it there.
Mm-hmm.
And Tedros lets go of concentration on the spell.
Yeah, you can see her like she's like sags a little bit into the weight and then puts it down. Just, I see.
Yeah.
Can we get a visual description of Marietta Veers?
Yeah. So Marietta is I forget if I gave one at the party.
Like how tall is she? Like what color hair does she have?
120. Is she hot?
She is.
She's hot. She's hot. The answer is yes.
I would say yes. I would say she's like, just like appearance wise, I think if she is probably at least in kind of just the way she carries herself and dresses, she is more on the cute side than like,
meaning to me she's hot because I'm attracted to every woman. Every single woman is so hot. Anyway, continue. She's hot. We're learning she's hot.
Okay.
How tall is she? What's her hair look like? That's what I'm asking.
I'm getting to it. Okay. All right. She's probably like 5'4". She's like on the shorter side. She's got very curly hair pulled up behind her head, dark skin, like slightly upturned nose. She always kind of is like slightly squinting at things, and actually Monty would have noticed that when she was reading the book. I forgot to mention this before, but she would have been holding it very, very close.
This bitch needs glasses.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that she's just like very much, there's a lot of attention put into her appearance, but you can tell like there's also like a slight discomfort with like the clothing and the everything. Like she's constantly like slightly fidgeting with it all. And you would know from like just interacting with her and everything, her mother has a very overbearing presence in her life. and is like trying to like push her out as like marry her off to Dieter and like go do this, go do that.
Don't at me. I feel so seen and so called out.
Oh no.
And then she just wants to just like hang out and read her books and study magic. So
relatable content. Okay, so she's
All
hot.
right.
She's a brunette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark curly hair. Okay.
I have a picture actually. It was my like inspiration for her. So this is not what she currently looks
Amazing.
like.
Yes.
But I'll put it in the Discord because I don't want to.
We want to see.
Yes. But I'll put that in there. But for now, yes, you can continue talking to her. I'll leave to find it.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption. I just
You're
wanted
good,
to know
you're
what
good.
she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are lots of applications for magic. You can use it to enhance people's abilities. Similarly, you can choose to weaken people's abilities. You can cause them injury. You can heal injuries. You can create illusions, and he'll hold out a hand and then kind of wave his hand over it, and use prestidigitation to create a coin. This won't last very long, but oh shit, yeah.
She's hot.
All glass of water, and I am thirsty.
It's amazing. I'm in love.
So there's a lot you can do, and a lot of different ways that you can express your abilities.
All right.
I've been talking a lot. Do you have any questions? Is there anything you? Well, I'm sure that you've got tons of questions. Where do you want to begin? I guess.
I've been studying on my own for so long. I don't quite know where to begin. I have so many questions that I always have that I don't know where to start. Now that I actually have someone who can answer them. It's sort of like when someone asks you in a conversation at dinner or something what your favorite color is, and you suddenly forget what every color it is you've ever seen.
Or what you want for Hogsmus.
Yes, for what is Hogsmus?
I don't
What
know.
is that?
It's probably.
What do you
Is
mean?
that a valley
What is
thing?
Hogsmus? Yes.
Yeah.
It's a holiday. We celebrate with the hogs. I don't know exactly how to explain Hogsmus. I mean, who doesn't know what Hogsmus is?
I don't.
I don't know.
I
what
haven't been
Hogsmus is.
around that long.
I'm not from the valley. No.
Well, how do I
sorry.
explain Hogsmus? You dress up a pig, and you have to have all of these presents, and all of the presents have different scented foods on the wrapping paper. So the pig goes around and it chooses what specific present it wants, and then whoever's turn it is gets that present. I mean, I
Okay.
think it had to do something with like making the pigs happy so that they'd be fatter for eating, but it became a holiday.
So you wrap up food in wrapping paper, and then the pig picks the food. Was that it? Or
No, with their presents, like fun presents that you would give someone for any other holiday, but the wrapping paper had different types of food smeared on it, and pigs like all sorts of things.
Did you know that pigs eat like people?
Well,
I
only
didn't
if you
know.
die in front of them.
Not even if you die, like if you fall into a pig pen,
Why don't you get out of the pig pen?
because the pigs are eating you by the time you realize what you've done.
I
It's
don't
not
think
true.
that can't be true. I mean,
I've been
if
around
that's the
too
case, every
many
person-
pigs.
I mean,
Maybe it's just Aeorian pigs, but
Are Aeorian pigs different?
I don't know. But Uncle Liam always said, do not go near the pig pens, because if you fall in,
Well, this Hogsmas, I'll get you guys gifts, and we'll have to find a pig to find the gift that you get.
noted.
I had to add Hogsmas to my notes for as a valley holiday real quick.
The Valley Customs, you have to write down.
We're gonna get there. and
As
we're
if
gonna be
Spring
saying
Bean
all
wasn't
sorts
too
of
much.
wild shit. We are gonna be saying all sorts of wild shit when we get there.
It'd be really funny if none of it was true.
I'm
this is
looking forward to
all-
none of this being true.
I can't tell what's better.
expecting
None of
that
it being
these
true
are
or all of it.
lies.
we go to the valley and they're just like, what?
Normal fucking people doing normal.
It's like, why are you calling it the Valley? Like, it has a name.
What are you talking
Why
about?
don't you-
Hogsmith. We celebrate Christmas.
We're on
Well,
it.
straight up
Imagine
Christmas.
Christmas here.
Straight up Christmas. They worship our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
No, there's no religion in the valley. We've already been through that.
No, but it'd be funny if there was. It was
But
just
imagine,
Christianity, but
yeah,
then, like,
and
Yule was just
Yule's
like, "No,
been
there's just
saying
not."
there's
Yeah.
no.
Shit, I mean, if my choices were nothing or
Listen.
Christianity, I might pick
I
nothing
would make the
too.
same choice, honestly.
I mean, you bold assumption there that Yule has a choice in anything.
So, while you're talking about this and you get distracted by Hogsmus, you do hear a knock at the front door, and the door opens. You can hear voices at the front, and Lady Marietta will say, "Oh, were you expecting more guests today? I'm so sorry to take up your time."
Oh, no. Well, this is important to us because, well, this is important to me, and I hope to everybody else, because I want to make sure that you have what you need. I don't know how long we're going to be here. I don't know if you're maybe going to want to come with us.
Come with you?
We've got a pretty sizable ship, and we have some space, and you wouldn't have to be around people who don't get it.
Well, I mean, previously we were talking about you coming with us because we thought that Dieter was going to try to force you into marriage.
Yeah, that was kind of the original thought, but
Yes,
We
if you
thought we
didn't-
could save you, but like, I guess you don't need saving anymore because Dieter's gone. But we'd still like to have you.
Is it like common knowledge that he's like
I don't know.
I think what people understand is that Dieter has gone on the run for the crimes he's committed. And
Yeah, he went on the run.
I-
I should start saying on the run instead of dead, shouldn't I?
I was there. You don't need to worry about the story.
you saw
I wasn't there, so
What
I
did you
don't
see?
know.
What
I-
did you see?
she might have seen us.
What happened? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What
so-
happened?
You know what happened. We killed Dieter.
No,
and then-
Tedros. I'm sorry. That was.
I'm sorry. I
That was
thought you.
upsetting of me. I just want to confirm that Marietta knows what we know before saying things that we know. Does that
She
make
said she
sense?
was there. If she said she was there, then she
Where?
definitely.
If she said she was there, I could say I was there. I didn't see what happened in the fight. I was there beforehand. Do you see what I'm getting at?
We have been talking about magic. I think it's safe to assume that she wouldn't be telling us anything that didn't involve.
Fair enough, but can I not just ask the woman what does I was there mean?
My lady,
Yes.
I apologize for the two of them. You do not have to answer any question you do not want to.
No, it's
Tedros
fine.
and I
I
have
j-
been together for a while.
Oh, okay, all right. Yes, I was coming back to check on the fire because, and she will wave her hand and just kind of does this motion around at the candles that Tedros lit, and they just snuff one by one.
Right.
And she says, there was a fire, so I was trying to sneak back so I could help, and I saw what happened between you and Mr. Orncroft, or Lord Orncroft, and Dieter. So that's what I noticed. I noticed Mr. Orncroft noticing me, so I thought that you all knew.
I was a little preoccupied at the time. You
That's
understand why.
understandable. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can put out light?
Fire, and I can do other things. She would have left one of the candles still lit, and she actually is just gonna like kind of wave her hand, just kind of like fingers tracing through the air, and just kind of like you can see just like slight orange light kind of trailing after her fingertips as she does, and the flame just kind of flickers a bit and then grows and then forms into the shape of a horse, like a running horse, and then just kind of starts galloping around in a circle in the air. Just like, mane billowing and everything, about like this big, but just kind of like a little horse flying around, just like running around in the air made of fire, before she just kind of like points back at the candle, and it just like runs back into the wick and then bursts back into much bigger flames before dying back down to a normal sized candle flame.
That's so cool. For a second, I thought you could do what Sister could do, dark magic, but
I don't
that's
know.
interesting.
This
We
one has
should
been
talk about that.
Talking
this one
about
is
what?
Sister's dark magic.
Not
But what
right
was
now.
Marietta saying?
Oh, just this is the only spell I know how to do. I just know how to make fire do what I want. It comes very naturally to me.
Yeah, yes. Fire only, not darkness or light.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, sister. Yeah, she does dark magic.
Okay. I don't know. Was Deidre's probably the first time that you met Lady Shasa?
Me?
No, Marietta. Was that the first time that you met Lady Shasa?
I don't think she and I actually ever officially met.
Okay, well, you should know that there are other things in this world besides just people, and I'm pretty sure she's one of them, and she's probably not safe, so be very careful if you ever run into her.
All right.
I don't know what kind of magic she does.
It's not good, whatever it is. I will tell you that.
But sister's magic is just darkness.
Oh, she just like causes darkness to fall.
Yes, if there's light, she can take it.
Hmm.
And some other stuff. Some scarier stuff. But I mainly know about the magic with the darkness because we use it in our show.
Makes sense.
I create light, she takes it away.
And as you're kind of paused at that point, you'll hear a knock at the door, the kitchen door.
Ah, yes. Okay, so we should probably let you go. We do have to have a conversation about some other stuff. And don't want to involve you in anything else. I know there's a lot that's happened. We've talked about a bunch. But I wanted to give you this to take a look at. And Tedros hands over the spell book that he got.
Oh. And she like takes it and opens up and starts looking inside. You can see everything she was reading before was like books on theory of magic and things like that. But this is the first time this is like arcane glyphs and instructions and things. And her eyes just widen as she kind of like holds it up very close and starts just poring over it, just very gingerly turning the pages as she looks through the full-on actual spells listed on these pages and just sort of like immediately becomes absorbed into it.
Allow me to walk you to the door, my lady.
All right. So yeah, just I will send you a message later this evening, and if you want to keep having conversations about this, we can do that. And if not, then consider that a present.
And if you want to join us, we have a really cool ship.
Yeah.
Haven't figured out how to get it to fly yet, but we can go on water.
I've always wanted to attend one of the schools of magic so I could study with other people who are interested in things like that.
The schools of magic? I've heard it's pretty stupid.
We met somebody and they were doing stuff that I literally
was born with.
I wasn't born with that particular one, but we're a bit more advanced than they are.
All right.
And we'll be going to a lot of places where you can learn a lot of things. I mean, I've learned so much since joining these friends.
None of this is meant to pressure you into any kind of decision, my lady. Take the day, think about it, and
is pressure bad?
Yes, we do not want to pressure anybody into anything.
I thought pressure was what made diamonds. That's what sister says.
It also crushes things.
Yeah. The same pressure that will make a diamond will also break a back. Like, what's good for one is not good for another. Yeah. Anyways, my lady, let me escort you out.
Thank you, Victoria.
She'll take her hand and escort her out to the door, and then at the door she will kiss the hand and send her out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. She'll turn and leave immediately, already with the book open and read and looking at it. And then that leaves all of you in the house.
Is there when you're going to the door from the dining room, Like there's like winding passages and stuff, right? It's
Yeah,
not like,
it's
you can't
yeah,
just like
not like a straight
see.
shot. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Never mind.
It wasn't like a quick one, but it was like a very much like very formal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. If I could see or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please come in.
There, yeah, just one of the staff opens the door and just says, you have a guest upstairs waiting to speak to you about business with Lady Stanway.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we'll be up shortly. And Tedros kind of looks around and is like, was that okay? Was that, did I do okay? Was that?
I thought everything was fine, but I usually think that everything's fine, and then you tell me that it's not.
It's not that I tell you that it's not. It's just, sometimes there are other things that are not fine under or on top of the things that are fine.
Yeah, but I don't notice them, and you help me.
Okay. We should probably get upstairs because there's probably a lot to go through.
Yeah.
Right, so y'all head upstairs. Okay.
Do I know
you-
they're heading upstairs?
I mean, you probably
I
come
just-
back.
Yeah,
back
we
to
were
the-
all
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
same room.
Yeah, you could probably come. Yeah, they probably talk about this once you're back
Mhm.
after
Do I
escorting.
just go back to the
I
breakfast
mean,
room?
well,
and they're
if you
gone?
want to know,
No.
if you want to know what happened while you were away at the door, you'll realizes that in front of Mariana, she didn't want to eat anything, and now she's gone, so she just starts stuffing her face.
Nice.
That's all you missed.
All right.
Cool.
So y'all head upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get up to the
Yeah.
upstairs sitting room where you see Lady Stanway seated in a chair, and you see Lady Esmeth, Montblanc's mom, already like sitting in front of a table with just all of the evidence you gave her just like laid out, and she's just like sitting there. It's just like full-on conspiracy board laid out, and it's like
Red
organized and
string,
things are like
Charlie Kelly.
it doesn't have quite the red strings on, but it's like covering the table, and things are arranged and set up and stacked in like perfect like almost stair-stepping ways. You can like see documents together, and like it's organized and grouped very meticulously, and she's just kind of sitting over it, tenting her fingers, just kind of reviewing it as she waits for you all.
I was gonna ask if we should like contact her, so this is so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just there when we come in.
Yeah, well, so that was the knock at the door, was
okay.
was them telling you that she had arrived. Like
Yes.
she arrived, like came in the front door while you were all there, and they got escorted
Gotcha.
upstairs while you were talking to Marietta.
Okay.
So yeah, and then she looks up and says, "Oh, hello again. I understand that you are all. I understand that my son has turned himself in so that we may gain his freedom."
Yes. I don't know if he told you before he did that. If not, I really wish he had, but
Also, at the same time, plausible deniability.
fair. I hope that we found something that'll help.
So far, certainly seems like this is all very helpful. She's like looking over it, and she's also looked at the letter that Lady Stanway has given her. She says, "And I understand I will be able to speak on Sullivan's behalf at the trial."
Looks like it, yeah.
Now let's get to work burying Mr. Von Stark and Lord Mumbleton.
Like literally burying them
I would
Or
not be-
like in dirt.
in court. Burying.
I would not be opposed. I would not be opposed to both.
Real dirt or metaphorical dirt? Both.
I would-
Both.
I would not
dirt.
be opposed to both. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
I'm down to dig some graves. Let's go.
Right.
Miss Monty's mom,
But yes,
is there anything we can do for you?
yes. I think we should go over the evidence very quickly so we can just understand everything, and if there's any gaps or anything that I don't quite understand about it.
I actually meant outside of the case. Is there anything that you need? Monty talks a lot about you, and he worries about you a lot. So since he's in jail, he can't take care of you. I just wanted to know that you didn't need anything.
very kind of you. And she like lays a hand out on the papers in front of her, gently, so not to disturb them, but enough to just like rest a hand on them, like almost possessively, says, "For the moment, this case is my life. And if
Understandable.
if this will return my family to standing and allow me to see my son again, this is my life, because it will return my life to me."
All right, well, what do you need?
All right. So, these documents were procured from Lord Mumbleton's manor, yes? Right. Now, in order to... These were ill-gotten evidence. They were obtained through theft. Now, you all need not implicate yourselves in this, but Sullivan will need to in order to vouch for its validity. He may need to pay a price afterwards, some sort of sentence for the theft, but it will be weighed against the reasoning and need. But in admitting to that crime, it will allow validity and allow for us to use this as evidence.
Okay.
The theft of what?
The evidence, she says, just gesturing to all the stuff you guys took.
We have to, in order to say that it's from Mumbleton's manor, Monty's going to have to admit that he was the one who took it. Otherwise,
What if one of us said that we took it?
It is best if Sullivan is the one to accept responsibility for it, because since he is the one being considered in the trial currently, it'll be considered along with other things, years of being away from home, the mutiny. He is responding to offense with an offense of his own, which will be seen much more charitably by the court as opposed to an outsider doing it, who was doing it on behalf of a friend and for good reason, but without offense against themselves or their own family.
And if we're going to maintain the cover that we did not know anything about Monty's identity before, we can't necessarily say that we didn't know, but we still proof that
I understand.
framed.
I get it. I just it feels unfair that Monty has gone through so much and that this town, country, place has done so much against him, and all he did was try to clear his name, and now he's going to go down for something that really isn't his fault.
Well, he's not nothing saying he's going to go down for anything. It will be considered in the sum total of things. It just needs to be added to the ledger, so to speak, considered in the balance.
It's okay.
It's a risk. It is a risk. He is putting himself at the mercy of the court for that in exchange.
Seems like a pretty merciless court.
It can be, certainly.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's perfectly fine. You've been taking care of my boy, so I am in your debt, all of you.
He's been taking care of us as well.
We are in your debt for raising such a nice son.
Well, and so she pushes past that so she doesn't get caught up in her feelings about it. We have here, and she like gestures a bunch of documents. These took me some time to decide, to put together the story they tell, but these here show that Lord Mumbleton was responsible for Dieter's original appointment onto the Orchid. This is not damning evidence per se, but it does paint a picture. These, and she points to another group, are brainstorming. These are letters that of him trying to come up with reasons to avoid putting naval outposts in certain places and encouraging the replacement in others, which I've taken some time and mapped out. Avoiding these areas has provided a considerable lack of coverage of naval support in certain key positions that the Scarlet Skin Carvers have taken advantage of, which is another implication. Now, we also have that Lord Mumbleton has been, and she points at a series of receipts, been paying for Dieter's parties that he's been throwing, the ones you attended, and this is the most interesting. The Lord Mumbleton recently made a very large sum of money, several large sums of money, off of payments from shipping companies and ship captains with their own ships. I see with the ledgers, but we have a few here. This one is interesting. You can see there's like a combination between like the bank receipts as well as the ledgers that you found downstairs. And she says, well, these are all receipts for his shipping investments. He purchased goods and then sent them on ships to be transported to other places to be sold. But the ships, many of these ships, and she points at several like examples and like bookmarked sections and ledgers, were either sunk or destroyed or raided by scarlet skin carvers. Most of these scarlet skin carvers, but all of them are also twice the normal value that they are supposed to be, and came with letters of guarantee from the ship captains, so that since they went down, he received full payment for the value of the items, which seemed to always coincide with a influx of money in his account. Now, I have here that all of the goods have been picked up at a place called, they all have this one thing in common. They've been picked up at some place called a Kelreeve trading post on the island of Belissadar, which I'll be honest, in my time, just in my time in the court and everything, a Kelreeve trading post has never crossed my desk. I don't know exactly what it is, but it seems strange that a trading post I've never heard of is so responsible for so many goods that he's been attempting to transport. So I have some people I know still, people I can trust, looking into that and seeing what we can find there. You found these very interesting receipts of shipments of seafood to his manor, which I'm not quite sure what that is about. He's something about Mumbleton's Feast of the Sea. He was putting together a large get-together for high society for a seafood feast, but he said it was cancelled due to his illness in the family. That part is strange, but nothing I think is terribly implicating in any particular way.
No, but what you don't know is that let's just say that Dieter directly and by proxy Lord Mumbleton had assistance from something definitively not humanoid.
Well, all of this sum total, I think we can find that Lord Mumbleton is certainly guilty of some very illicit trade dealings, perhaps significant fraud in that regard, as well as being very, very connected to Dieter von Stark and his activities with the Scarlet Skin Carvers. So, given that Dieter is not here, my strategy with this evidence you have managed to gather is to pivot from Dieter during the trial and to focus my attention on implicating Lord Mumbleton. Since he is here, if I can surprise him with implication at the trial, we can put him on the defensive, we can get him trying to save his own skin, and we can get him to give up information, details about Dieter in an attempt to save himself, thus getting one of Dieter's allies to turn on him and hopefully clearing my son's name.
So how would we find his allies?
Lord Mumbleton is his ally. That is who I am targeting. We have information here which, if I can find out more about these ships, this is a key piece of information. I'm waiting on information to arrive for this, but if I can show this at the very least, I've caught him in a significant crime. And
But you think that we can get Lord Mumbleton to turn on Dieter?
we make it a greater degree of interest If we can make it a lot and more in his interest to turn and save himself than it is to stay loyal and silent, then I believe so.
So we
Alright.
threaten the man.
He is ultimately selfish and a coward. And if we make it a better idea to save his own skin and sacrifice Dieter to save himself, then he will become our star witness against Dieter. Now, I also have this note. We have that Dieter has been attending exploration trips to the mainland, which the mainland is dangerous, of course, and many sailors in particular will fancy themselves as explorers and go and traverse the jungles, which is not unusual. There's entire stores dedicated to such exploration endeavors. But there are payouts to families of assistants that he brought with on the trips. But the trips are dangerous, so it does not raise too many eyebrows for wildlife or dangerous fauna of flora, or dangerous flora or fauna, or environmental hazards, the weather, sinkholes, quicksand, whatever you have you, to claim the lives of those who go with. So that is not terribly suspicious. But in the ledger in which Lord Mumbleton has paid these families for their deceased loved ones, there is a note that appears to be from Dieter. It's not signed, but it says, "Stop hiring sacrifices with families, you numbskull. I don't care what their qualifications are. They just need to come with and die. Just make sure no one will miss them so no one gets suspicious." Which certainly casts suspicion on Lord Mumbleton as a recipient of this letter.
And it wouldn't be the first time we've dealt with this issue. Literally, the part of how we came together was someone else sacrificing people, nearly sacrificing us as well. So, that's worrying. Maybe we might need to take a, well, personally, I would prefer to, your son is very good at what he does. And I would much prefer to have him with us if we were to go to the mainland, but I think we need to check on that as well.
It will be difficult. I've looked through I've suspected as much, and it would be important to know where he was going, but nothing in any of the records I was able to find indicated location of the exploration trips. No sort of maps or even mention of where on the mainland he was going to.
Yeah.
And the mainland is a dangerous place, right?
Quite so, yes.
Okay.
So that is what I've been able to find. That is my strategy. You will, of course, be asked to speak, given that this is not a criminal trial. This trial is to determine who the court will believe, whose word and testimony will be believed between Sullivan's and Dieter's. Given that Dieter is not here to give his testimony, provides a considerable amount of weight in that favor. So now, this evidence will allow me to pressure Lord Mumbleton into truly sealing Dieter's coffin. But we, of course, must not put all of our eggs in one basket, as they say. Which is why I understand that the two of you have significant testimony of what happened at Dieter's last evening at his estate.
Yes.
We will need you to begin with that. We will most likely begin with Sullivan getting a chance to speak his piece, tell his truth, explain what all happened. After that, you will be called forth to give your testimony, explain what you saw of Dieter, what he did, what happened that night at his estate. And then from there is where I will implicate Lord Mumbleton, and then hopefully get him to finally turn on Dieter. And all he needs to do at that point is just verify and validate everything else we've said. And it will be the final nail we need in order to seal Dieter's doom and secure Sullivan's salvation.
We don't even need much from Mumbleton. I mean, as much as just saying that even if Mumbleton doesn't get convicted of anything, as long as he admits we're done. So
Exactly. So that is the lot of it. That is what I will be preparing for Montblanc's trial. Or sorry, she would say Sullivan, for Sullivan's trial. And
When is his trial going to take place?
as I am speaking with the Navy currently, and determining, I have a meeting shortly after this to determine that. Once I have gathered my evidence, we will proceed, and I will let you know, most likely in the next few days.
okay.
It will be a public affair. Many nobles will attend, given that this is, well, the original mutiny was one of the largest scandals to hit Titan's Grave society in centuries, since the last major event. So the return to that and new salacious details will be the kind of thing that will certainly get an audience. So there will be quite a few people there. So
And
prepare yourselves.
as I understand it, you also have your own enemies as well.
Oh, I do. I certainly do. But I am not worried about them in the slightest.
Well, do you think any of them would go so far as to stand against you in this?
And as you say that, there is the slightest tug at the corner of her mouth, just the slightest hint of a smile before, but she maintains a courtly and very well put together look of serenity. But you can just, for the slightest second, see what can only be described as the look a predator gets before it latches onto some prey, as she says, "I would like to see them try."
All right.
And Lady Stanway is just sitting there, just beaming, as at just getting to watch her favorite protege work again.
All right. Well, we should make sure we have all of our details sorted out, so that so we have our part prepared.
Certainly seems that way. Oh, and Lady Stanway, she says, looking over her shoulder, or turning to the woman. Lady Stanway says, "Yes, my dear. What do you need?" She says, "Is the Velvet Coterie still operating?" She says, "Oh yes, quite so. These three and your son were dressed in their finery at the soiree most recently." And then she says, "Excellent. May I give you some notes to send their way for an outfit?" And Lady Stanway says, "My dear, it would be my pleasure."
White pantsuit standing out in the courtroom. Sorry.
Are we having our like end of episode 5 of House of Dragon moment? Like,
See, I was thinking of like Camille from the Johnny Depp court testimony. Anyway. She's getting an outfit for court is what I'm hearing.
Yes, yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm living for that. I'm living for it, is all I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yes. And yeah, so she says, she begins very carefully gathering up the materials. She's got like a leather, like not briefcase, but one of those things that like, you put like the flap over and like tie it up. It's like got dividers in it that she starts putting things meticulously away into and separating them out specifically before wrapping it back up. And she says, I will let you know as soon as I'm aware of the date of when we can get this done, but I believe the sooner the better to get Sullivan out of house arrest and to return things to the way they should be.
I agree.
And then
Yes.
she reaches into the thing and pulls out like a folded up piece of paper, and you can see just like the edge of what looks like a charcoal drawing on like because like fold isn't quite perfect. And you can kind of see just like the silhouette of like almost like a person on it that she hands to Lady Stanway and says, please pass this on to Eladir and give my regards. And he'll know where to send it. Lady Stanway takes it and nods approvingly. All right, I must be off to continue. Thank you all again. I'll let you know as soon as I know anything.
Thank you.
And she nods and then starts heading out the door.
And as Yule sees her leaving, like she'll probably have been gone from the room for like 5 seconds when Yule just like bolts upright and runs from the room to like catch up to her.
Okay, it's not hard. Yeah, you can probably get to her like as she's getting onto the boat that brought her there.
Excuse me, Mrs. Monty's mom?
Yes.
And she's going to just like reach out her hands to like hold Monty's mom's hands if she'll let her.
Yeah, really, definitely. Yeah.
And she just wants to say, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you by myself. I'm Yulyanya, and Monty saved me. I was all alone. My family disappeared and our circus was attacked. And when I had no one in this world, Monty showed up and he saved me. He helped me get to where I am now. He helped me make the friends I have today. I've never had a friend before him. I just want you to know that you did a really good job raising your son. And he loves you so much. And when he was away from you, he thought about you constantly. I just want to thank you. And if there's anything you need, anything at all, I want to help. Because Monty vowed to help me find my family, and we did that. They're not so great. But I also vowed to help him help his family, and I'm just very glad to get to see you well.
Thank you. And I'm very sorry to hear about your family, but if you are in need of one, after all of this and returning my son to me, I certainly continue to be a part of ours.
She's like tearing up, and she's just like, thank you.
She holds out her arm. She's like knelt down to be like Yuliana's height, and then she'll
She
hold
comes
out her
into a hug.
Mm-hmm.
And then she
gives you a
pulls
good mom
away.
hug.
Yeah. Oh God, one she's never had. She pulls away and just like holds her hands again and just says, Monty will be okay. But he needs you to be as well. Okay?
I will be, yes.
And then she'll just bounce off back to Tedros and Viktoria.
She watches you go back into the house, nods, steals herself, and then gets back into the boat to go and continue the proceedings.
Yules wanted to thank Monty's mom forever.
No.
All right, she enters the room with Tedros and Viktoria.
All right, well, looks like everything is in place. We should probably head back to the ship.
Yeah, I don't know how much my monkey has had to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I have a cat there.
Tedros has been feeding your cat.
Yeah.
Every time we go back, Tedros always remembers.
That's very sweet. I forgot. I am such a bad pet owner.
It's
I
not like
mean-
you could have been back. Listen.
Let's go with that, yeah.
I knew somebody once, someone who used to be with the circus, and they were sick a lot, and they felt really bad for being sick a lot. But it's not a moral thing. They couldn't help being sick, and you couldn't help being away.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
Viktoria?
Mhm.
Did you go away on purpose?
No, I did not go away on purpose. The opportunity presented itself, and I took it.
But that sounds like on purpose.
Like, I didn't go out searching for the opportunity. It just came to me.
But you chose.
If you want to put a label on it, yes, I did choose.
Oh,
I did not
Okay.
expect to be gone as long as I was.
you can just like see like processing on Yule's face. She's just like thinking very hard, like steam coming out of her ears. And you can see like her thought process, but like you can't tell that it's like her going through like Gleana left, she chose to leave. Viktoria left, she didn't choose to leave. Princess left, she chose to leave. And now hearing Viktoria left, and it actually was a choice also. She's just thinking real hard.
I don't know what I can say to make any of this better or to incriminate myself less. I stand by my decisions.
There's no criminal things or whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I did what I had to do. I didn't like that choice, but I did what I had to do.
So what next for all of us?
That is a good question. I will tell you from here, just to kind of give a sense of where things are so we can get before we have to part here for the day. You will hear back from Montblanc's mom later that day. You will find out that she is setting the trial date for 2 days' time. So basically the day after tomorrow. And it will start in the morning. So you have basically the rest of this day and one full day prior to the trial. So with that knowledge, would anyone like to do anything in particular with the like day and a half that you have left at this point?
Can they go back to the ship? Feed
Oh,
their
absolutely.
pets?
Yes, you can go back to the ship, you can hang out with your pets, you can feed them, make sure they're okay. That all
Okay,
happens.
I'm just gonna say, like, in that moment where Yule was like getting beside herself with emotion, she's just gonna be like, I have to go see about the monkey. And she's gonna leave the room and head to the ship by herself.
Okay.
Fucked up, didn't I?
I think you did the best you could with what you knew and what you had.
I've made choices that I was not proud of while away. Choices that probably could have been solved had I just stuck it out a little bit more. But we're here now, and I don't think that there's anything that I could say that will ease the hurt that I have caused you and Yulyanya.
I'm okay.
I don't want you to say that you're okay if you're not. I don't want my decisions or my actions to hurt you. In fact, I have very specifically requested that it not hurt you. So,
Well, there's been a lot happening, so I have not necessarily had a ton of time to process everything. And so if there is hurt to be had, I haven't given it a chance to swing at me.
I just thought that I could come back and it would be all okay again.
Are you going to be able to stay?
I don't know. He might want me back, he might not, I don't know.
Do what you can then. And we'll make it something work. If you want that.
What I want is for us, all of us as a group, to be in a place where we don't have to be the strong ones. Where you don't have to be the strong one.
You should see Montblanc. He's definitely the strong one between the
You
two
can't
of
be
us.
very strong behind bars.
I know what you mean, but I missed you. I'm glad you're back. And for as long as that's true, I'll take it.
She wants to tell him everything that happened, but she is holding it back. Like, it's to the point where, like, if he somehow got onto that and asked, but he hasn't, so she's like, oh. She's fighting with herself.
Actually, I think that perhaps Viktoria should roll an insight check.
An insight. I'm not great at these.
That's fine. I don't think the DC is super high right here.
How does a 14?
14 is enough. I think Viktoria understands that Tedros is purposely not asking the question so that it's her choice.
That is so considerate of him. I'm really glad to have you as a friend.
Me too.
And every day that I was gone, I would, look at the coin, look at the feather you gave me, and that would keep me going.
I didn't take it off, except a shower, cleanliness and all that. But
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
come on, there's a hungry cat on board.
Yeah, of course. Hungry cat. Let's take care of it.
And Tedros offers a hand.
And take it.
Okay, you two can head over to the ship to feed the cat. So now, you two have about 2 days at this point. Is there anything you would like to do? Just kind of zooming out, montaging it. Is there anything you all would like to do over the next couple days in preparation for this? Just in things you need to do yourself? Anything you need to do?
We're preparing for the trial.
Yes, trial is in 2 days. You can prepare, do stuff to prepare for the trial. You can do other stuff you need to do, prepare for other things, whatever it is you want to do at this time. That is up to you. Hang out, relax, whatever.
I will say that Yule doesn't have much to do to prepare for the trial. I mean, she very much doesn't even know what that entails. The justice system is quite different in the valley, if you would believe that. But
something is different in the valley? Never.
But she's not doing well mentally. And if anyone were to happen by her room like at night, they would hear like mumbling, like calls of distress and like light screaming from her nightmares. If you want to be inside Yule's head for the nightmares, she is having the recurring nightmares from the beginning of the party where we were, where she was trapped in the silks at the top of the circus. And it's very much like the usual nightmares go, where there's the explosion and the like people, coming in, or creatures coming in, whatever's going on. She can't process any of it, and she's just trying to get out of the silks. But this version of her nightmare, as soon as she gets out of the silks and is headed to the exit of the circus, Lady Shasa is there blocking the way. And she just screams through the night. So that's what Yule's doing. She's like pretending everything is fine during the day and having the worst nights in the world.
I think at least on the second night. Because I don't think that. Nope. It just says 20-foot radius sphere. At least for a little bit, Tedros will sit outside her door.
And he'll just hear like the slight mumblings of like, help, help. And just like little moans and screaming from like, it's very obvious like someone is sleeping and having a bad dream.
He will burn all of his second and third level spell slots to cast Calm Emotions for the maximum duration. So he'll be able to get 5 minutes out of it. Just because it does not require you to see the person.
Okay. Do you do those
suddenly?
I was gonna say, do those minutes consecutively, or do you like send them in like just like 1 minute, like 1 minute spread out to try and like calm things down, and then like as it crescendos again, just trying to like keep knocking it down?
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
say if he's able to interrupt her bad dreams at all, like with this emotional spell, it
Mhm.
calms down for a significant period of time where she suddenly is just back in the valley with like the sun beaming overhead, and she's just laying in a field of cabbage, and she's watching like Papa hoeing the fields, and she's watching like dogs run around and things like that. And it's just like whatever is going on in the circus just melts away, and she's back in her comfort place.
Okay. I will actually say because the spell is like an intervention. It's probably like you're in the scary part of the dream, usually probably the part where you're going down to you get to the door and you see Lady Shasa, and it's like very scary. And then this happens 5 times throughout the night.
Yeah.
The first time, as you get to Lady Shasa, you feel a hand grab yours, and you look down, you would recognize Tedros's hand turning you away, but then as you turn, just like the blur brings you to that peaceful
Okay.
cabbage patch, and it's just you,
Right.
but you would recognize Tedros's hand. And then the second time, Montblanc's hand pulls you
Aw.
away, and then the third time, Viktoria's hand pulls you away. The fourth time, Galina's hand pulls you away. Fifth time, Princess's hand pulls you away. And each of the 5 times, it's a different member of your party just turning you away from your dream and just returning you back to that place of peace.
Each of those times, it's a completely different effect on her. So like when Tedros pulls her hand away the first time, it's just this like fear, peace. And then like the next time when it's Monty, it's this overwhelming feeling of friendship. And then when it's Galina, Viktoria next, Viktoria, it's just like this big sister feeling, like she can protect me and she can help me. And then when it's Galina, it's like a teacher and a mentor and a guide. And when it's Princess, she feels her hands start to kind of shake. And there's peace, but like excited giddiness as well. And each different feeling just feels completely different, but helps her ground herself and get away from the fear.
All right. So that is Yule's 2 days and a little bit of Tedros's. Are Tedros and Viktoria doing anything with these 2 days?
I think Tedros would mostly give Viktoria her space, let her decide how much she does or doesn't want to interact, and then like he'll work on some stuff in not his space. He'll work on some stuff and read some things in an open space so that he's busy but available, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What about Viktoria?
Victoria's not ignoring them. She's just not speaking to them or engaging with them unless they come to her first.
Okay.
She's like, I have hurt these people. I don't want to continue to hurt them by pushing the matter. So whenever they are ready, they will come to me, kind of deal. But kind of end of day 1, she's going to seek out Lady Stanway. Just because she's like, I need some advice from someone who's clearly been doing this a lot longer than I have.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, you can find her probably like it's the end of day. You could probably find her like in the kitchen, like baking herself a cup of tea.
Pardon my intrusion, good lady.
Not an intrusion at all. You are an honored guest. How can I help you?
I am just looking for some of your infinite wisdom on the matter.
Well, I would hardly call it infinite, but whatever I have to give, I will happily share.
So consider for a moment a hypothetical situation.
All right, let's consider this hypothetical.
So there is this person who all that they have known is one thing, that thing being kind of nobility and all of that, right? So all they've known for as long as they can remember is nobility. And then they kind of embark on an adventure where nobility doesn't hold as much weight, or she doesn't feel, I mean, they do not feel that nobility matters as much. Okay? And then they shift their kind of self-worth onto another kind of inanimate object that they have. And then that inanimate object means a lot because that's kind of their source of power, like self-power, right? And then through no fault of their own, but also a little bit of fault on their own, that was taken away. Like that inanimate object was not physically taken away, but like they couldn't access it like they could before, right? Are you kind of following me?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. So they've kind of got take that link to their power taken away. And then because everyone else that they were traveling with depended on them for that specific power, that specific link that they had with that inanimate object, they could not admit that they did not have that anymore, right? So they started taking other routes to try and get that link back. And then in previous travels, or kind of travels that were parallel with the travels that they've had with this group, they came across this person, this being that had a little bit more power than they did. They knew a lot more. They knew how to fix this issue. And so when it got really bad with the link, this person sought out that magic person, not magic, but this person with a lot more knowledge, and they sought them out, and then they went to that person and ended up leaving everybody else for a couple of days. And while they were with that person, they may have made a deal of some kind. And at the time it seemed like a really great idea, and now like they have that link with the cards back, not cards, I mean inanimate object, but now like a couple days later it just doesn't sit right. And if in this hypothetical situation you were that person, what would you do?
It's a very large question, my dear. Mostly because asking what I would do is quite confusing, given that there's so much that could be done. This person has not a single choice, but their whole life before them, so it is difficult to say what one course of action should be taken.
I'm just worried that in this hypothetical situation, this person is worried that this choice is going to harm their friends, even though one very specific point that they insisted on in the deal with said powerful being was that no harm would come to their friends by their hand or doing. I just worried about the friends in this situation.
Well, I suppose I would give a few pieces of advice to this person. I don't know what I would tell this person about their current situation. It's a sticky one. But I know what I would tell them. I know what I would tell them about. I know what I would tell them to help them with future situations like this. I would say, first of all, perhaps this person should worry less about their friends and more about taking care of themselves, because the situation they seem to have found themselves in arose because of their attempt to prioritize their friends over themselves, which then potentially caused them to put their friends at risk. We We spend a lot of time in the water here in Titan's Grave, and everyone here knows how to swim, and everyone here knows what to do when someone is drowning. And when someone is drowning, you cannot help them unless you yourself are able to have a way of staying above water. Especially because many times if someone is drowning and you bring yourself too close to them, they will pull you under with them, and all you will have then is 2 drowning people. It's better to get a boat or something that floats to be able to allow them to help to pull them out of the water than it is to add just another drowning person to the situation.
So you're saying that this person in this hypothetical situation should just like cut contact with their friends because these friends probably do not know how to swim in this hypothetical metaphorical thing.
No, I'm saying before this person worries about keeping others from drowning, she should make sure she herself knows how to swim. She should make sure she herself is taking care of herself before she tries to sacrifice too much of herself for others.
What if this hypothetical person, that is the only thing that they can offer, is their service to their friends?
Ah, young people.
Okay, I'm not that young. I don't know.
Many people are young to me, she says. But you young people always seem to think that friendship is about what you can offer to each other. What you can do for each other. It's like a
transaction. That is all friendship really is, right? It's just
not in the
transactions.
Slightest. Why do all of you young people want to play merchant in your friendships?
Because that's all I know. I mean, all that person knows.
Friendship is not a transaction. Love is not a transaction. It is not something...
Well, I never brought love into this. Like, let's not make assumptions about love here. Like,
hypothetically.
Hypothetically, love was not brought into the situation.
Well, I'm bringing it into the situation because friendship is love, whether you realize it yet or not. Friendship and love are not transactions. They are an opportunity to spend time with people who make us happy and who care about us and who we care about. But it is not a transaction. It is not something that you give to one another. Gifts are freely given. They are not given with the expectation of a return.
Well, no, like, I would never expect anything in return.
And why do you place those expectations on yourself?
Because those have been the expectations placed upon me by my sister and my uncle.
And perhaps the issue is less with how you treat your friends and more an issue of how you treat yourself and the expectations you should have for yourself, regardless of what other people seem to think.
So, like, did I really fuck up by making that deal?
I suppose that remains to be seen, but...
Like, they were all talking about, like, the deals that other people made and how, like, it went horribly wrong and how they had to kill them, and I just don't want that. Although, like, I don't think that this person I made the deal with is, like, on the same level as the person that other people made deal with, but, like, you know, could be, I don't know. I just was like, yes, please fix me.
As I said, we cannot undo what has already been done, but we can work to do better for the future. A few more pieces of advice for you.
Mm-hmm.
One, we gain nothing by assuming what a person will say and reacting to what we think they will say before they've had a chance to say it. All we can do is say what we need to and trust that they will do the same in response. It does not do well to have conversations with a person in our heads where they cannot participate.
I mean, it does me a lot of good to have those conversations because then I don't need to have them with the other people.
Then you are having a conversation with a work of fiction, because people are not so simple that we can reconstruct them within our own minds.
You're right. Okay, I will admit that you are correct in that. But sometimes the fictional version is easier to handle rejection from.
Since when is the easy way the right way? The other bit of advice will allow me to, if you'll allow me to indulge myself in reminiscing about my youth. And she pours herself more, the hot water into the cup and stirs in some cream and sugar.
Mhm.
When I was a young woman, I had an occasion to travel a bit. I can't remember exactly where I was, but I had the opportunity to participate in some chariot racing. Quite the entertainment, exhilarating. But I learned some things about driving a chariot or a wagon or a carriage or anything of the sort that goes quickly in that regard. Not like boats. Boats are simpler. They don't quite go as fast. But I learned that sometimes when you are driving a chariot, things can begin to get out of control. You can begin to slide, you can begin to tip, some things begin to go the way you didn't plan. Now, the natural reaction is to tug on the reins and pull in the opposite direction as hard as you can to try and correct the issue. However, if you correct too hard, you'll find yourself with a new issue in need of correction. You'll have to correct in the opposite again. And you will find yourself attempting to spend all of your time correcting until you tip over or careen into something. The best corrections are usually small, or sometimes you need to bring everything to a complete stop and then proceed again.
I'm not sure how bringing everything to a complete stop translates back to the situation at hand, but I can say that potentially there was an overcorrection.
If you ever need to bring things to a stop, all you need to do is pause, do nothing for a moment, and take a deep breath. Then proceed.
Okay.
Now, I don't envy this hypothetical person, whoever they may be.
I think you know who they are.
No, I may have my guess, but I'm an old woman. I don't. Well, I can think all sorts of things, being an old woman who spent all of her time addling her mind with fantasy stories. But I don't envy this person. But I think that this person, if she remembers to take care of herself, to trust in her friends, and allow them to take care of her every once in a while, she will do just fine.
This is why I come to you and why I say you have infinite wisdom.
Substantial but limited. Not infinite.
I mean, it is more than I have with my, 7 months of lived experience.
Well, then I have quite a bit more months behind me than you do. But look on the bright side. That means you have many more ahead of you than I do.
No, you cannot say that for certain. I live quite a bit more of a dangerous life than you.
Consider it less a certainty and more of a wish.
I will take that wish. Thank you.
I wish this hypothetical person all the hypothetical luck in the world.
This hypothetical person thanks you for that. And
Good
I
night.
thank you for the clarity that you've given me.
Happy to help. She'll pick up her cane where she's kind of hooked it onto the counter, pick up her cup of tea and its saucer, and then start making her way out of the room.
Victoria's gonna stay in this room, just fully debating and just shit. I fucked up, yo.
And I think that's actually a perfect place to end it for the week then. So thank you for joining us, everybody, for another episode of Codex Legendarium. We were happy to have you all. We will come back next week where we will be jumping right in to the trial of Sullivan Orncroft versus Dieter von Stark. So thank you for joining us. And yeah, see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hopefully Justin didn't fall asleep.
Oh my god, imagine.
Mm-hmm.